Welcome to the MozyHome tutorials. In this tutorial, we will discuss how to configure backup sets in the Mozy client. The Mozy client is a software installed on a machine, allowing it to be backed up. To access the settings window, right-click the icon located in the taskbar, select Settings, then select More Settings. Before the settings window opens, if prompted, enter the user's password and click Login. To configure a backup set, click on the Backup Sets tab at the top of the settings window. At the bottom of the backup set screen, there is information displayed that is useful when selecting files for backup. The limit indicates the amount of quota or storage that is available to you when backing up data. Used indicates the amount of available quota that you are currently using. Remaining indicates the amount of quota that is still available for you to back up data with. Files indicates the number of files that you have selected for backup. A backup set is a set of common files that are grouped together. One way of selecting files for backup is using backup sets, which lets you quickly select files for backup without having to search for files individually. Some common backup sets include music, photos and images, word processing documents, and more. To better understand what a backup set is, let's take a look at music. By right-clicking on music, we can choose to open Edit Backup Set. Let's change this backup set to include only music files whose name starts with classical. We can change the name of the backup set to indicate that this backup set now only includes classical music files. In the backup set name field, type classical music. The middle part of the screen is similar to Windows Explorer, and this is where we select the folders where Mozy will search for files. Currently, this backup set is searching for music files on the desktop and also in some folders on the C drive. This is indicated by a black check mark on a grey background. If we expand out the C drive, we can see that this backup set is searching for all music files in some of the folders in Documents and Settings. This is indicated by a black check mark on a grey background. Since we want to select all files starting with the word classical on this computer, let's have the client search all of the C drive by clicking on the box next to the C drive. The grey background now changes to a white background, indicating that the Mozy client will search all folders on the C drive for music files with the word classical. Below the Explorer window are the rules associated with the backup set. Right now our backup set is going to include all file types that have one of the following music type extensions and excludes all other file types. Since we only want to back up our classical music files, let's add an additional rule that will only select files that start with the name classical. To add another rule, we click the plus button. Next, we make sure that the first drop-down is set to AND, the second drop-down is set to Include. Select File Name in the drop-down, followed by Starts With. In the text field, we enter the word classical. And finish by clicking OK. Clicking on classical music, we can see that only the music files that start with the word classical are selected for backup. Notice that this file starts with a capital C. This is because backup sets are not case sensitive. Checking the box next to Classical Music selects the music files to be backed up. And if we were done, we would click OK to close the Mozy Online Backup Settings window. However, let's change this backup set a little more. Let's say we have Advanced Backup Sets enabled. This is done by clicking on the Options tab and ticking the box Show Advanced Backup Set Features. We want to back up our classical music as well as our oldies music. We right-click on the backup set again and select Edit Backup Set. We then change the backup set to select Classical and Oldies Music. Next, we add another rule by clicking the plus button, and instead of using AND, let's use OR. We still want to use Include, File Name and Starts With. In the last field, we enter the word Oldie. Click OK. The backup set has selected every music file that starts with either classical or oldie. If we want to add a personal backup set, we do this by right-clicking in the left-hand window and selecting Add a backup set. Give the backup set a name, for example, Class Examples. Select a folder from which you want Mozy to search for files. Let's select the C drive. Click on Add a Rule. This backup set must include all .docx files that start with class. Click Include all file types that have a .docx extension. We also need an additional rule that will include all files whose name starts with class. To add another rule, click the plus box and make sure this box is set to include file name starts with class. Click OK. This backup set is now added to the list, and all files included in this rule will now be backed up. Thank you for joining us for this tutorial, which covered configuring MozyHome backup sets. We hope you have found it useful. For more information and other tutorials, please visit us at support.mozy.com.